hit record. That done. Woohoo! All right. I'm so glad to see you all. It's so lovely to be here. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for tonight. I have a few friends that are constantly teasing me that I always use the same adjectives, right? Adjectives to describe being in class and doing these kinds of things. I'm like, it's just beyond what I can verbalize. So let me go ahead and cast a circle of light, specifying that only Source, Creator God, my healing team, and the support teams that my healing team may bring in be present for tonight's healing circle, teaching with the guides, where we are doing divine union. I mean, the information is coming from out of divine union. We are doing the ever present now. And it was so freaking cool how it all showed up and perfectly aligned with kind of what I needed. I don't know about you guys. Hopefully it's exactly what you needed this last 2 weeks, but we are going to be talking about the section, I think it's like page 76 to 83. Imagine that. 76 to 83 is, they mention it like 8 different times, the ever present now. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. It's going to be super cool. I'm very thrilled with how it all is showing up. So may it be with the blessing, blessing, blessing of Source that we continue to remember that we are having an experience here in bodies on planet Earth, that we are actually souls having this experience that are everlasting, that are way more powerful, way more magical than we can remember, and that, you know, in the end, it really is that love is the only truth. With that, I say amen. And this whole living in the ever-present now. If you've had an experience over the last couple of weeks that you want to share, feel free to put that in the chat. There have been moments of that ever-present now that I have had, and we'll probably catch a few of those tonight. But I do want to let you know that we're going to be doing something really cool tonight. Really cool, because we are going to be sitting in a ring of now. That's how it was described to me, a ring of now. And so how it shows up to me is a circle, a ring of light, and it's filled with healing alchemy and filled with lots of these high frequencies. There is lots of geometrics and those frequencies that have come in, the reunion frequency, renaissance, wonder, resurrection, and this ring is going to constantly, continually change colors. So if you tune into it and you have an awareness of it being pink for you, you know, that is some of those love frequencies that are showing up. But then, you know, you might look at it 5 minutes later and go, God, I feel like I'm seeing blue. You are not seeing things. That is exactly what is happening. It's going to just keep changing. And then in addition to the frequencies changing as we go through the healing circle, there are 3 stations that are going to be there. And it's almost like as if a clock was divided into 3. So there's 3 different sections. The very first one is where you're going to get healings on fear of the past, worry over the future, that whole idea of the past catching up to you. Some of that showed up in the container. So some of you might be like, oh my God, that's me. I am so afraid that things I did in my past are going to catch up to me. other people might look at that and go, yeah, that's not me. I don't get that one. And that's totally okay. And then the other piece to this station is that future being unknown and you being really uncomfortable with the unknown. And, you want to manage it and control it and, do what you can to mitigate circumstances is how it shows up for me. So that is one of the areas. The second area is the lack. We're going to heal more lack. And this might be, lack of time, lack of money, lack of education, lack of like looking how you're supposed to, whatever that shows up for you. And it is going to be a lot of healings. And we're actually going to, like, if you're sitting in the first one now, you'll move to the second one. I'll give you the little ding, ding, ding when I get it. And the second one is a lot of the frequencies are abundance and Christ consciousness and grace. And remember that Christ consciousness is that forgiveness frequency. Like, it's okay that you think you aren't enough, don't have enough, kind of ideas, because that's part of what you are healing here. There's also a lot of that resurrection frequency, which is the sapphire blue. Look, now I'm getting duplicates of myself. Here I go. All right, let's heal more of that. Those places where we need to heal more of that. Let's do that, please. And then the third one that we're going to have is one that's going to work on those control energies. And control energies can show up as anything. They can show up with, control through fear, control through pain, control through atheist energy, where you really doubt that energy is real and that anything can ever change. Control through unconsciousness, control through anger. But these controls have been, we have picked up in service. And so we're going to work on moving as many of those control energies as possible. So find your place. Whatever information you have about where you're going to first is perfect. I am going to the lack station first, just because that's what I was told. Go into the lack. So wherever you sit, please know that there are lots of members of my healing team that are going around and kind of helping you with whatever shows up for you. Fear of the past. Yes, let's heal more of that. And if you have any questions while you're experiencing it, feel free to put them in the chat. This is a first for me. I've never done a healing circle this way. So, we're just going to play with it and see what shows up and trust it all. Okay. And while we're doing that, there are lots of energies that are coming in to help us all move those things where we are beholden to time, is how it shows up. Beholden to time. That piece I love in the text, because this is about the text, where they talk about time being cultural, and it really varies from place to place. Holidays are different. I know Judy is here and Judy is Canadian, and there are some holidays that she probably looks at people who are living in the States and be like, I don't understand that one. Actually, she probably understands it better than we understand some of the holidays that she does, because Americans think we are the world. And, But it is true. There are lots of ideas of time that we have, and it varies from culture to culture. One of the things I got to experience being on a Disney cruise, if you all didn't know, I just got off the ship yesterday, is those ideas of time and the lack of time, and how many people were very much like, got to get there, got to hurry up, got to be the first one in line, got to make sure I don't run out of, the Mickey waffles that they have, and whatever was showing up next. And so it doesn't even have to be like culture to culture as far as countries. It can also be like the Disney cruise culture is very interesting versus people who are just on a cruise to have fun, and we're kind of like, what are y'all doing? Where are we going? Why is there such a rush? So we're going to heal those places for all of us. Those rules we have about how time goes, got to get it done, got to hurry up, get moving. If I don't get this completed today, there's going to be a problem. Any of those rules, we're moving those as well. So, yeah, Janelyn, I appreciate that being negative and really being sick of your life. There's a lot of that showing up lately. Like, this is intense stuff. This is not for the weak, being here in this incarnation. So cheers to all of us for, just getting through it. Yeah, I would never call you a Debbie Downer at all, Janelyn. And it's just a lot of the transformation that is happening, with the reminder that, we're constantly changing, transforming, going after the stuff that's even deeper. And just when you think you've got it all, it's like, oh, look, here's some more of that stuff. I didn't know it. That was in my pocket. So yeah, we are transforming all of that. To the text, where some of the frequencies that are coming in, just like in the text, that communion frequency, it is gold. And the transcendence is coming in for all of us. And, when I read these texts, I'm like, oh my God, look at that, those frequencies. And then I stop and look and go, okay, I'd like a gift of communion and transcendence. And I just wait to have some awareness of where the gift might be going. Don't always get it, but I always trust it. So, lots of communion. And this communion frequency is really going to help us with that idea that, we're all connected with each other, but we're really, truly connected with our higher self. And that's a beautiful idea for us to embody. Yeah. What is a miracle but a transcendence of time and matter? Miracles, miracles, miracles. How's everybody else doing? I see Janelyn's talking about money freakouts. That's an easy one to have. Lots of craziness happening, at least in the American economy. You might be like, I haven't really noticed anything. I'm doing okay. And that's okay. It's not like you have to go searching for something going on. I have had lots of different experiences of all kinds in the last 2 weeks. So there you go, Judy. You are in the right place. at the right time. Judy says, lots of anxiety getting everything done as soon as possible. There's not enough time. Yeah. So let's go through and let's move more clocks for everybody. If you'd like to know, ask where your biggest clock that is tick, tick, ticking away time, and it is pulsing the frequency of fear. So you can ask to see where a clock is that is pulsing fear. Wow, I feel like mine just smacked me in my head because it is sitting right here in my forehead, in my frontal lobe. And it is, when I look at the clock, like I actually asked to have an awareness of it, and the hands are spinning like this. And so it is pulsing them, running out of time, running out of time. You're not going to get it all done. How do you think you're going to do this? Blah, 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 blah. So wherever your clock is that is busy pulsing lots of fear, we are going to transform that. And then some of you even have like a clock with like lots of little clocks that are moving around it. And we're obviously going to take those too. This is not like, oh, we're going to take the big one, but sorry, we can't do anything about those little ones. We're going to take those little ones as well. So that will certainly help with that tick, 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 tick. Gotta hurry, gotta hurry. Oh, those are really beautiful. We're getting a gift in the place of the clock of an amplifier of high frequencies. Your amplifier could look like a lot of different things. Could look like a speaker, could look like, I see some that are like cubes of crystals, and they have a crystalline, like a speaker on them. So that is going to help magnify the higher frequencies. Lower frequencies are not our friend at all. Okay. Now we are going to slide on over to another one of the stations. So if you were in the first station, you can move to the second one or the third one. I'm going to move over to the first one. No rules how you do it. You don't have to move in succession. First one is about getting healings on the fear of the past, worry over the future, that idea that the past is catching up with you. The future is whatever, however you see the future. The one that showed up most when I looked at the container was that we have no idea what is happening in the future, and so that makes us very panicked. The second one is about lack. That ring is filled with lots of abundance and Christ consciousness, grace, truth, resurrection. I see some recreation in there as well. And then that third one is working on clearing more of the control energies that have us going into fear, pain, anger, unworthiness. And a lot of these are panels. To me, they kind of look like the panels that are in our houses, the electrical panels. yours may show up differently. And then some of them are boxes, control boxes. And you may have an awareness of the wiring running through them, the connections. You could have a box and a panel and see the wiring. You might not have any awareness at all, and that's okay as well. I spent a lot of years going, okay, if you say so. And that works really well too. You're still moving those things. And then while we continue to sit in our stations, another idea that they talk about in this text is about remembering that everything we're experiencing by agreement. They actually tell us, what's that, 1, 2, 3, third paragraph in, your natural abilities, psychic if you wish, spiritual if you must know, have actually been suppressed over the ages for several reasons. The first reason is that you agreed to it, first and foremost. I love that they say, don't go about saying they did this to us, because you give the they great power. So you suppressed in an agreement to separation because you could not believe that you were allowed to know yourself beyond certain ideals. This is a planet that was light and bright and high frequency for a long time, and then the low frequencies started moving in, and the low frequencies have kind of been in charge for a long period of time. And, the collective came together and said, okay, time for everything to transform, time for this planet to go up in frequency. And so that's what we're here for. That's what we all signed up for by agreement. We all signed up to be here to help transform more of these old ideas, these pictures and movies and all sorts of things that say, we can't be powerful. We can't access our information. And so the guides are actually talking about, from a religious perspective, how we gave our power away, just along the way, a little bit here and a little bit there. I actually grew up as a Catholic. At some point, I started doing Catholic things with my dad, and they're a big proponent, at least at the time that I was there, that was like, the priest had to be the one to absolve you of your sins. And so that's giving my power away. I was giving my power away by agreement. And it's just a reminder that if it's by agreement, that means there's a place where when you hit that frequency, that agreement can be transformed. And that's not to say that you wouldn't still go to a priest and do all the things that you've done, but you're not giving your power away. You are now aware that you're in communion, that you are in union with it all and transforming that. So hip hip hooray for that. Big healings for us. Religious programming. Lots of religious programming transforming. And it's not that how religion works is a bad thing. It is the part where we can't access our own information. Like, whatever you want to do, go and do that. But do that because that's how your higher self directed you, not because it's what you've been doing for centuries in your family kind of thing. Whew, it is warm, warm, warm. Warm, warm, warm. At least in my house. All right. I think it's also those healings that we're getting in these stations. How are you all doing with those? Do you have any awareness of what you are experiencing? It's so interesting to see the ring as it rotates around, that the colors are changing, and it's specific for you, for exactly what you want. You know, your higher self is going, yes, I'd like more of that and more of that. It's like a buffet. Nice. Judy, I love that you can feel yourself relaxing and loosening up. That's really, isn't it lovely to just be like, oh, I can put this weight down for a while. As a matter of fact, if you'd like to check in with your higher self, where you have a backpack, a suitcase, a weight that you have been carrying around that is no longer serving you. You've been carrying it for a long time, that we're going to transform more backpacks, suitcases, whatever, mule packs. Some of you look like you're carrying like the water, you know, with the bar that goes across the back, and you're carrying the water. We're going to transform more of those. Nobody needs that. Channelin's dragging her trunk. So we were on the cruise with my grandson, who now weighs 32 pounds. And, you know, I've been on lots of cruises, and the elevators get really busy, and I'm like, it's only 4 floors. It's really easy to just jog up the 4 floors. You know, the steps aren't very big. And so I did that a few times with him. And then after a while, I started joking, this is like having a 32-pound belt on me. And I think people are crazy when they do it here at home. You know, they put those things on to weigh themselves down. I'm like, why? Why would you do that? And here I am, you know, carrying an extra 32 pounds up and down the stairs. Down was not as challenging, but let's take off more of those backpacks and weights and whatever they look like, because Lord knows, nobody needs that. The last day I decided to go from the 2nd floor to where our room was on the 9th floor by the steps. And I got to the 6th floor, and I'm going to tell you guys, I was huffing and puffing like, oh my goodness. And by the 8th floor, I was literally grabbing the banister and kind of pulling myself up, because my legs were going, no, 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 no. It was a little crazy. And my daughter goes, I didn't think it would take you that long to go whatever I went up to get. And I was like, I had to stop in the room for like 5 minutes and wait till my breathing settled down, because it was a lot. So, yeah. Yeah. And I thought it was going to be a relaxing cruise. What was I thinking? Oh, Joanna, I'd absolutely love to give you a healing on your skin. And let's get a healing for all of us on our skin, how we perceive what nourishment looks like for our body, and taking care of our nervous system. Let me show you a healing trick. Put out your hand, doesn't matter if it's your left or your right. And what you say is, I'd like more grace, please. And then take a moment to just notice the gift that is in your hand and how sunsetty orange it looks. It might look like a lot of other colors, doesn't make it wrong. And then here's a really good place to put it. right back here in your brainstem. That sunsetty orange is grace. Grace is fabulous for your nervous system. And if you're out somewhere and you're like, I don't really want to do that piece, you just ask for more grace. And you can ask for grace to be run all the way down your nervous system. It helps with eating your nervous system. So Joanna, what is your food of choice when you're eating your nervous system? Everybody else, feel free to pop it in. Mine is dark chocolate. I have a couple friends who are salt freaks. Chips, potato chips, tortilla chips. Yeah. Chocolate and chips. Yeah, sugar, man. I get that. And being in a place where sugar is available everywhere, oh my goodness. They have soft serve ice cream on the ship. We've been telling everybody this. And they're little tiny cones. The cones are probably about this big. The machine that you pull down for the soft serve ice cream. And they always had vanilla and chocolate, but then they would have banana or blueberry. They had mint on the last day. And my daughter asked one of the cast members how many ice cream cones they go through. And the guy said that they go through 12,000 cones a day. There's 4,000 people on the ship. And I know one person who didn't have any cones the whole time we were there. So, yeah, when you have all of that aplenty. I admit I ate 8 of them. I don't think that was my full share for the 12,000, but they were really easy to eat. And the mint was, I was doing so well until they had the mint. The mint was good. So, here's our reminder, and it comes straight out of the text, that obstructions are for our own learning. Obstructions are for our own learning, like the things that happen that, like if you're driving down the road and you hit a roadblock, we tend to be like, oh my God, now I'm going to be late. Now I've got to turn around and go back the other way and try a different way. And now I'm going to have to blah, right? And we get really crazy with these obstructions or roadblocks. And one of the things that the guides are telling us in this text is that the obstructions that you may create would be there then for your own learning. Like that's what our higher self is giving us, is the opportunity to be like, oh, this doesn't work. Oh, let me try a different way. Yelling at somebody is not as helpful as being really thoughtful and kind to somebody. Yelling might be appropriate in certain situations, but there might be other situations where being kind and thoughtful makes more sense. And we're learning which things to do when. So they actually say, it is time to wash the dishes. You go and wash the dishes. It's time to change this life and live it in a higher way. Your soul is asking for the transition to be undertaken. Y'all are here. If you didn't know it, your soul is going, yep, it's time to transition. It's time to transform. That's what we're up to. And the idea is to do it with as much simplicity and grace as possible. Everybody put your hand out. Ask for some more grace. Can you ask too many times for grace? Nope, you absolutely can't. And if it shows up, to put it here or put it here, put it here in your throat. Wouldn't it be beautiful to speak more grace? Do that. So here's the coolest thing that I've read in these texts in a while. It is, I can't tell you what page. I can tell you what page if you give me a minute. I actually print out it's the only time I haven't written in a book is this, this book. And so I print it out. It's actually on page 79 in the middle of the page. And they are talking about, you have an idea or a memory of what was before you or what you experienced in your own narrative or linear time before you. And it says, in fact, all things are now. Does anybody else get a little tripped out with that? That we're always in the now, that every incarnation you've ever had is actually happening now. It makes my brain go loopy. If it makes your brain go loopy, give you a healing on that. It's just because we're so entrained on this planet with how time works that it just feels, if you don't practice it all the time, it feels very odd. But this part now, when a new thought is claimed and then integrated, it actually informs all time, and this is not well understood. They admit it. The memory of a flower that is actually present in the physical plane is always there. So in energetic terms, we call that an imprint. And when you reach a certain frequency, there are actually low frequency imprints that you can transform. And some of the reasons why, you feel like certain things are stuck in your head that you can't get them out is because they have been imprinted on you. And as you continue to go up in frequency, you'll eventually get to the place where you're like, oh, now I can transform that. And the imprint gets transformed into high frequencies instead of the low frequencies that it is. So we're going to go through and find the biggest imprint that you have had in any timeline that you have had that is affecting you with being in the present now. So whatever that is, if you had a incarnation where you felt like you just ran out of time and you didn't get it all done and that was a big imprint for you, we are going to transform that. Whatever is the biggest imprint that keeps you from being in the now. And then while they're working on that, we're going to change to the next station. So I'm going into the control station. You might be stepping into the station that is working on lack. You also might be stepping into that station that is working on the fear of the past and the fear over the future. Fear is a really big frequency on this planet. Fear, 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 fear. One day I'm going to sit down and write as many words as I can think of that we use in place of the word fear. Like the anxiety and the even unworthiness is based in fear. So the idea is that life happens in simultaneity. And what we are doing is starting to see historical ideas from a new frame of reference, from a higher level of perception. So if you have an idea about something you said thought from the past, you can go ahead and all the words I get are like submit. Go ahead and put that out into the field, and we're going to transform that. If I hadn't done that one thing, if I hadn't said that one thing, or perhaps you have one that's like, I should have said. I'm going to heal more of that. In the mastery class that I teach, we're just about ready to finish the entire course, and we're doing timeline healings, which is very similar to that what we're doing here. So we're actually going to do, I'm going to do a timeline healing. If you ask for you to look at the place in your current life where you first fell out of being in the now, where you were like you were in the now, you were in the now, you were in the now, that now is all you know, and then something happened to you where you were like, oh wow, I am running behind. Because there's I'm like looking at the timeline, and there's, for people, there's a lot of different times that are showing up, but we're going to heal the one that is the biggest effect on you not being in the now, a timeline healing. So if you want to do this for yourself, like just have an awareness of where it is, you just start at the beginning of your life and kind of tick, 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 tick. And when your fingers stop, ask what age you were at that time. So mine shows up as 8 years old. Do I remember what happened? No. Janelyn says 7. I mean, I have done some of these timeline healings, and they've been like before even being born, right? So whatever it is, it's just nice to know that that is going to heal. And it is because everything is happening in present time. So those things can actually be healed. Don't believe it if anybody tells you they can't be. They can 100% be healed. So I'm sitting in that station that controls, that is transforming controls, and I just asked to see one of the controls that was being transformed, and the control was control through fear, and how it shows up is me wanting to control things. So, you know, we want to control things that we go into fear about. It's good healing. Imagine that. Give me back my steering wheel. I am driving my car, and my higher self says, yeah, good luck on that. Lots of union frequency coming in for all of us, remembering our union with Source. Some more joy coming in for us. It's that bright orange joy. And behind that is the frequency ecstatic union. Go figure. That's joy on steroids. Here's the claim of truth. I think it's the only claim that's in the in this section of text. It's a really long one. Are you ready? I know myself in union. I know myself in union. I know myself in union. No qualifiers, just you are in union. When I first read it, I was like, that's really simple. Does that mean I'm in union with everything? Yes. I know myself in union. Imagine when you have those moments of, oh my God, everything's out of control. I'm not managing this stuff well. And you just go, oh, I know myself in union. I know myself in union. I know myself in union. And then you go, okay, so what am I doing next? I think it's hard to get a download of joy and not be a little happy. Just saying. Look at all those controls. Whoosh, 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 dropping off. Transforming. So there's spirals coming in. For all of us, I was watching this spiral. It was like coming in, and it's like for some of us, they're like spiraling, almost like corkscrewing in down into the tops of our heads. Others of them are spiraling around our body, around our heads. Some of them are going around your arms, around your legs. Lots of different frequencies. There's purples and greens and yellows. One of the big frequencies in the yellow spectrum is awakening frequency. Helps move more on consciousness. I mean, in reality, that's what we're moving a lot of. That's why people are starting to become more aware, more conscious, more like, oh, wow, I just had a thought. This is amazing. Okay. Let's see if I can find it. Healing, 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 healing. Here is a great message for all of us, at least from my higher self's perspective is like tap, 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 tap. Look at this. Let's see. Can I do it again? Now, how this occurs. Yep, page 80. Technically, it's up at the top of page 81. Once something is in your alignment, it is being held by you, not just for the moment, but for eternity, for an eternity. These healings that you get in the healing circle, these gifts that you get in the healing circle, these gifts that you get with the new moon and the full moon, and if you're, asking for gifts on a regular basis, or you're aware of the gifts that you are getting, they are yours forever and ever. Amen. And I love that it's in print because I always like to have that little backup. No, it's true. Do you see? It's right here in the text. And of course, Paul, if you all know me, I love when he interrupts the teaching. Well, why not just for a moment? And I'm thinking to myself, Paul, why would you want it for just a moment when they've said you get it for eternity? And he says, many people have momentary flashes of the divine, and then we feel despondent when they go away. And they tell us that these are gifts or intercessions. When you have an intercession, you can imagine the hand of God or the universe or spirit breaking the veils that you could not, to alter a trajectory that is necessary. Paul, you have had several. Most people have had several, although they couldn't think of it that way. It's not circumstantial. It's the guides that support you, the divine that is all things claiming you beyond a system of agreement that might have caused you great harm, or a choice that could have been made that would have been detrimental to many. Isn't that cool? So they go on and say the idea of a piercing experience and the fact that it exists is actually very useful. It implies a veil that can be pierced. And what is a veil but an illusion of separation that you have agreed to? We all have loads of veils. We are transforming more veils. They're doing it for us. So we remove the veil in some ways so that your participation in a landscape is completely altered while maintaining an identity at a level that is required for you to operate well. What is the purpose of a cosmic experience when you burn the house down because you forgot you were making dinner? Aren't they funny? I'm having a cosmic experience and my house is burning down all around me. What is the benefit of a religious experience? When it makes you mad. Here's the use of experience in this kind of way. It offers you a potential and a remembrance of the divine, remembrance frequency coming in for all of us, that the personality structure had opposed or been in denial of. When you have these experiences, they generally invite you to a new experience. They show you what can be so, how they can be so, and they claim you in a new potential. All that stuff that we're going through, the things that are making us crazy, the things that are making us like, oh my God, why does it have to happen this way, is by agreement. You made agreements with the people who are making you most crazy. You have agreements to have those experiences for your growth and evolution. They are a really good thing and they claim you in a new potential. And here's what the guides said. Not only do they claim you in the present moment, how we see it in the present moment, but it reclaims us in all moments. How we would say it? Everything in the past gets transformed. All those things. Let's just say you have a challenging relationship with a sibling or a cousin or a really close friend. When you transform that here in present time, it transforms everything in the past. And you will discover there will be times that you go back and you try to remember a detail about how they wronged you or how frustrating it was, being with them or whatever misunderstanding you have. And you are like struggling to remember the details because it has been transformed. It's really fabulous. Really, really fabulous. Okay, so I'm watching calendars. If I had a paper calendar in front of me and I was like ripping off the time, ripping off the time, ripping off the time, ripping off the time, I'm watching these calendars being like the months kind of flying by. And so the first thing is that we're getting a healing on that piece, the calendar that just keeps, for God's sakes, it's already June. How did that happen? We're getting a healing on those low frequencies that are going, oh my God, it's almost Christmas. We're getting a healing on all of those ideas, but it's also the one that is like to be managed and controlled by the calendar. And it's not that you don't want to know that tonight is Monday and we're having the healing circle. It's that you want to just be like, oh, tonight it's Monday and the healing circle is tonight. Am I going? Yes. And you attend, right? As opposed to, oh my God, I got to make sure I do this and this has got to be done and this has to happen and there's so many things going on. Big healings for us on that. Who could imagine there could be so many healings available in just, what was it, 10 pages? Something like that, 76 to 83, even less. 7 pages, all these healings available to us. Fabulous. So, while we're finishing up with whatever station you are in and working on those ideas about the calendar, I wanted to let you know that the next circle is going to be June 22nd and 23rd, and the one on June 23rd is actually going to be the last one that we do on Tuesdays, at least through the summer. We'll see what shows up next. And we are going to be in the Book of Innocence, and we are going to be doing pages 54 through 60. I'm still amazed how this all shows up, because I just like pick up a book and start flipping through it. I'm like, oh, this is really interesting. And then I start reading and I'm like, oh, this is the next concept that we're going to be doing. So the Book of Innocence, page 54 to 60, it's knowing the self is divine and healing the separation and the fear. And they talk about the claim God is, and there is a lot of just little great information about the broadcasts that we receive and being reknown in a higher template. I really like the Book of Innocence, and so so beautiful. Here's the claim that I'm being told to read. Here's the claim that we're going to be working with. On this day, we claim that all who hear these words will be reknown in a higher template of agreement. That form itself may be realized beyond any agreement to a memory in separation that distorts one's true nature as expressed, as realized in the upper room. We sing your songs for you so that you may learn the words. And as we sing on your behalf, we sing the truth of your expression and what may now be known. There are 5 frequencies coming in for us with that. Known, realization, expression, truth, reclamation. Yes. I'm teaching my grandson. This is what I want my legacy to be. I'm teaching my grandson to look up. It's like, you know, you're on the ship and there's this beautiful light that's just like old-fashioned. Like, think the 1920s with all the glass, and it's just beautiful. And I'm like, Ben, look up, look up. And so he immediately looks up and he gets this big smile on his face. And, you know, we sit outside and we lay in the grass and I go, look up, see the trees, see the birds, see the clouds, you know, everywhere. I just like to ask him, look up. And there was a party on Saturday night and they had confetti, and oh my gosh, it was his first confetti experience. And so now he's like constantly looking up. But it reminds me to say to all of us to remember to look up. And it isn't just necessarily looking up to see the trees, the clouds, the sky, but to look up like what is coming in, what frequencies are available to me, what is coming to help me heal. Just that reminder that, we're always getting healings, about being in the now, about being present and just that presence and being. So if I ever tell you, look up, it's amazing. But those frequencies are coming in for all of us. And gentlemen, I am happy to get my healing team to give everybody's pets healings. Our 2 cats were by themselves for 4 nights. Oh my gosh. And then I reminded myself, hey, speaking of pets, they're always in the ever-present now. Always, always, always. They have no idea that it's anything other than the now. So lots of healings for our pets, for their fear. Their fear. Move that out. And yeah, happy to help. Happy to help. Judy, it was fabulous having you. I love seeing each and every one of you and how you show up in the world. All that you're doing, you're amazing. Y'all are doing way so much than you know. So, yep, we're good. I absolutely love and appreciate each and every one of you. We'll be back here on June 22nd, and we'll see what shows up then. Book of Innocence, I'll be posting it real soon as I seal the field unto the light of that one true source, creator God, the one who is all the magic, all the joy, all the love. And I thank my healing team and the support teams. I thank each one of you who goes, yeah, I want to transform. Yeah, I want to do some things different. And I want to love more and know who I am, know what I am, and know how I serve. Thank you for being you. I love and appreciate each of you. There is a new moon this weekend. If you need any support, feel free to put me on your list. Yes, give me some help. I will see you in 2 weeks. Lots of love, guys.